Jupiter has entered the fifth expression of Aries, progression. What does progression mean? What is progress? Let's take a look at what it says in the Sabian alchemy book. In measuring up to challenges to examine our strengths and weaknesses, we take on optimism, synergy, sharing, and abundance as life principles. We evolve a creative assertiveness towards fulfillment of potentials, both by allowing higher forces to shape our lives and envisioning what we hope to experience. Within the culture of group interaction, we can see the yang force encouraged by glorification of powerful, aggressive individuals, while the yin shows how the synergy of cooperation creates abundance. Anyone who masters both of these is inwardly fulfilled and becomes open to the revelation of higher spiritual energies and correspondingly a new dimension of potentials. Wow, okay, so looks like there's some good things in store. There's going to be a whole new way to think about what progression means. Similar to attainment, where we figured out that it was an inner spiritual attainment, we're going to see that it's going to be an inner spiritual progression. And a little bit of a dramatic start, moving into degree 21 of Aries. That's the degree that we're in today. Pugilist entering the ring. Let me read from the Sabian alchemy book. Overwhelming power. The will to power is glorified as the primordial struggle for survival of the fittest, the eagerness for fame and fortune. Yet the ring with two fighters can also be seen as the Tai Chi symbol and the interplay between yang and yin. Each of the two types of energy wins in turn. Victory is always temporary in a dualistic world. There are two sides of aggression, measuring up to challenges to examine our strengths and weaknesses. Conflict provides the grit we need to become stronger. Okay, so the way I see this is the pugilist enters the ring. Where are we here? Are we in the audience? I don't think so, because we've emerged. We're in Aries. We're here taking a stand, and if we see ourselves taking a stand against the pugilist, then that means that we are about to be in opposition. Even if we see ourselves as the pugilist himself, we're about to be in opposition. But what are we about to be in opposition with? I think the clue is in the description of the expression, where it says that anyone who masters both of these qualities is inwardly fulfilled and becomes open to the revelation of higher spiritual energies and correspondingly a new dimension of potentials. So I see this as us, in a way, fighting ourselves. I think this happens when we're developing our intuition, and there's some times where we'll get a feeling and we can't tell if that feeling, like let's say there's a feeling to not do something, and it's hard to tell if that feeling is a fear-based feeling or us connecting with our intuition, our spirit embodied sense that clues us into things that are more cerebral brain can't pick up on as quickly. And so in a way, we have to contend with our fear, and when we're trying to go through this progression, we have to learn how to differentiate fear and signals coming from intuition. And I think one way to do that is fear will give you this feeling of contraction, where intuition will give you this feeling of expansion. And even if you're getting a signal that is telling you not to do something, if you still feel like comfortable in that expansion, then maybe that is actually intuition. So our fear is strong, though, and that's something that we should respect. Our fear is a worthy contender because our fear's mission is to keep us protected. So as we're going through this progress of inward development, we have to make sure that we're honoring that pugilist. A pugilist is a boxer, that boxer who wants to fight for us and will, in some cases, fight against us for what it sees, what it thinks is our own best interest. But going on an inward journey, it's scary. And I think we just finished the attainment expression, and this can be a time in people's spiritual practices where you've attained something, you've figured something out, and it almost feels like, okay, I'm done now. But this Aries progression, it's like Aries is so well known for starting things, but for anything to be started, it has to progress. And so any Aries can relate, I assume, to this idea of like starting new projects and maybe like not finishing them. But I think there is that warrior spirit in Aries that does see that there is a mission for it when it sets its mind to it to complete. And so there's going to be a long period of progression that has to be endured. And so we're already in Aries. So soon after emerging, we hit that attainment, and now we just kind of have to like keep going, keep chugging along. And as you're chugging along, that is when fear will come to you. Things have been going well. You start to get those nagging feelings of fear, but you're also trying to listen to the infinite through the connections that you've been working on. So you kind of have to like just kind of see like how you just have to be, developing that frame of mind where you're noticing the fear, monitoring it, deciding if the threat is viable or not, processing intuition, deciding if that's the direction you want to go in, which the more you fulfill the intuition part, you're going to be developing an even deeper and deeper connection with that intuition. And so it's worth it to really figure out how to differentiate between the two, the fear and the intuition. as part of this inward journey. And that brings us to the 22nd degree of Aries. Gate to the Garden of Desire. And so this is an incredible moment. I will say for Jupiter, this is when, this is the degree where Jupiter will be conjunct with the Sun in Aries. So wow, what a great degree, the gate to the Garden of Desire. And I think through this journey of contending with your fears and learning what's fear and what's intuition, if you keep following your intuition through this progression, you deepen that connection and look where you arrive, gate to the Garden of Desire. And let's read what it says in the Sabian alchemy book for this degree. Optimism as a life path. Contrasting the fighter's harsh, lonely path, a softer way is open to those who share rather than compete. The benefits of synergy are then highly significant, and the promise of great abundance is fulfilled. A further benefit is achieved, the development of an attitude of optimism and expectations of success. Abundance arising as a result of trust. Optimism, synergy, sharing, and abundance as life principles. Vitality is made known by its appetite of new experiences. Okay, and so this is seen as more of the yin, that's contrasting the yang of the pugilist. But I see this as we've followed our intuition, we've deepened our connection, and that's increasing our vitality because part of connecting with your intuition is becoming more embodied in your whole self. So you're picking up on things more easily, and that's increasing your vitality, your optimism. It's making you a better listener because you're practicing embodied listening. So you're able to work with others and you're experiencing new levels of synergy. And so you had to get past the fighter, past your fear, past the part of you that wanted to keep you protected. And that was a valid part of you. And for some people, that part can be very strong because you might have gone through trauma that made you really build up that part. But developing that trust, that faith that you can listen to your intuition, that leads to the Garden of Desire. And like I said, the Sun and Jupiter are conjunct in this degree. So I think that's just sort of a little treat for us that the universe is throwing our way. And I think this is something that, just use as like a little dose of good luck for anything you want to start. Like this could be like a great day to start what you want to work on. This degree is a couple days ahead, but just think about what you want to start when we move into the gate to the Garden of Desire for both the Sun and Jupiter. And the Garden of Desire, we were in the scene of desire, the first half of Aries. Now we're receiving what we desire in this second half of Aries of potency. It kind of reminds me of the Garden of Eden, and we even had in the scene of desire. We had two lovers being with a snake nearby, I think. Let me see if I can find the exact wording. Serpent coiling near man and woman. And then it's only through going through our journey of learning how to communicate with the infinite, and almost like facing our fears, that we learn that we never left the Garden of Eden. We never left that place where Spirit was trying to give us everything that we wanted. And it was only in our own mind that we thought we weren't there anymore. We took on shame, we took on fear. And so in a way, it is kind of a yin degree, because it's a degree of just sitting in the fact that we've already arrived.